Over the last 13 years, I've lost 60 pounds and kept it off. Today, I'm going to reveal the 5 reasons why you are not losing weight after years of trying, leaving you frustrated, stuck at the same weight, restarting every single Monday, and lying awake 2 a.m. wondering why nothing has worked so far. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's been keeping you stuck, how to finally lose the fat consistently and keep it off for life. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm making a new video about weight loss advice for busy professional men. I use these strategies to help dozens of men just like you lose up to 60 pounds and finally escape the yo-yo dieting cycle. If you're tired of constantly losing and gaining the same weight, I want to help you get you a healthy self without giving up the foods that you love. If you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you saw with me in my client transformation at the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you and I are fit to work together, and I'll help build a game plan to help you lose the weight for good. The first lie you've been telling yourself is that you need to do an extreme diet to finally lose the weight, and you are telling yourself this time that you're going to be more stricter and cutting more calories, and you're most likely at the point where you're repeating the same cycle for years, trying using aggressive diets. You've been losing weight very fast and then you're getting it all back, and you're lying awake 2 a.m. wondering why you can never make the results last. And I want you to adjust with a smaller sustainable calorie deficit of 300 or 500 calorie deficit, and just letting the calories work for you, and also having a 45% of the daily calories come from protein, because higher protein diet helps you not only build more muscle but also keeping your hunger levels in check, because if you are doing this way, you are also don't want to binge late at night and having 40% coming from carbs of your daily calories, because that is easier for you if you want to have a lot of energy for your whole day using your workouts, completing the 6,000 steps, and you also want to have some diet phases. For example, when you've been on an ongoing diet of 12 weeks, you are most likely going to be at a point where you are not seeing the results that you want, because the metabolism is just decreasing every single week, and you can adjust it by gradually avoiding weight loss plateaus with adjusting your calories. Instead of 300 calories deficit, it could be 500 or 600 calories, and also instead of 6,000 steps, you're doing 8,000 steps. So all these small changes can add up for you to lose weight. And if you are wanting to avoid the crash diets, you shouldn't hop on these juice diet where you are hopping on only drinking juice, removing all the carbs, because that is going to make it difficult for you to recover after work, and you're feeling so exhausted to even complete the workouts and your work. Building these small habits over time can essentially help you have a more sustainable weight loss diet, and you are also going to lose weight permanently without living this cycle of restriction and regaining all the weight constantly. The next lie you've been telling yourself is that you need to find the perfect diet to make it work, and you're telling yourself as well that the next diet will finally be the one that works. You maybe tried keto diet, fasting, low carb, meal prepping, your countless fat loss hacks you've been googling on YouTube, and you're also trying to have your life work, but your diet is always falling apart and you're constantly starting over. And I want you to have a more sustainable, simple nutrition framework. That's something that I've been using. Is I'm putting in my stats in something that's called macro calculator and .com, and then I'm getting my age, putting in my gender, height, weight, activity levels, working out 5 times a week, and then I'm getting 45% of my daily calories come from protein, 40% coming from carbs, and then I'm putting all these stats into something that's called MyFitnessPal Premium subscription. And by having these changes, I can get a meal plan where I'm subtracting the amount of calories I need to be in a calorie deficit, and also the amount of protein I need to hit. And then there's a lot of different kinds of variations of meals that I can put in, depending on how many meals you are having every single day. I usually like 3 to 4 meals, so I am making sure that the first meal of the day, after been working out fasted in the gym, that is where I'm getting most of my carbs and protein to replenish my glycogen stores. Because if you've been busting your ass off in the gym, you're just being very tired, you need a lot of carbs, at least 40 grams of carbs, at least 30 grams of carbs to replenish your body, because you're just being very tired. So then the next couple of times, for example, it could be 3 hours later, you're getting more calories, and then also still following the framework of 30 grams of protein, 40 grams of carbs, and then the last meal could be, I don't know, 6 p.m. That could be the next biggest meal where you're getting your dinner with your family, and the last meal of the day could be Greek yogurt or skyr, and that is high in protein, and you put some blueberries or some zero topping. And by doing these things, you are going to get meals that is very delicious. And if you are tired after 3 days of eating the same thing, you can switch out these meals, so you have 2 meal plans, and that is easier for you to have your motivation up, and it's just more flexible, and you can plan your diet around your life. Because sometimes if you are very busy and you're just not having enough time to hold all these pauses, I sometimes also just, after been working out, I have a protein shaker, like 60 grams of protein, 400 grams of skim milk, 2 protein bars, sandwich, and then I'm going like 6 hours without any food. And the second last meal is just a larger meal. That could be pasta bolognese with 200 grams of lean ground beef and some 100 grams of whole food pasta, 200 grams of pasta sauce, and maybe a protein cookie. And by doing this, you're going to have a fat loss system that works for you even when you have a busy professional schedule. You may be working 40, 50 hours a day. It's like you've been telling yourself is that you have to wait until you're motivated and you're just feeling that you want to start when you are ready. But the problem is that you are at the point where you know exactly what you should do, but after a stressful day at work, you're just wanting to skip the gym and you want to order takeouts, and you promise yourself that tomorrow will be different. And I want you to identify your habits right now with your identity, because if you are someone still stuck at the place of being your old self with having this mentality of I want to take the easy road and hop on the couch after I've been working, then you are attaching your identity to these habits. But if you are trying to create a new avatar where you are, for example, figuring out the kind of person you want to be in the future, that helps you align the amount of habits that is created for this person, and you align all your actions towards this person. It's easier for you to not think about being motivated. All your small actions is going to lead to that person. So let's imagine that an example of me, when I was 18 years old, overweight, at my heaviest weight, I thought, damn, it's really sucked my life. So I want to have a better picture of myself, and I imagine being someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, who is very handsome, like very small waist, muscular, lean, fit, have a lot of stamina, look amazing in suits, very confident, talk with clients, doing presentations. He's just being very confident. So what I wanted to do is that I was checking out through a fitness coach what kind of habits he was having. He had a structural meal plan from a coach, and also a workout plan from a coach as well. And through these things, he was starting to figure out the kind of habits that could help him. So he was just removing all the shitty foods from his, for example, his meal plan. And shitty foods is very broad, but it's easier if you have your protein intakes coming from high quality protein sources like lean chicken breast, eggs, salmon, lean ground beef. It could be, and also the protein sources, that's just it. And then you also have the carb sources, that could be whole foods, for example, more vegetables, broccoli, wok mix. It could be whole food pasta, whole food bread. It could be quinoa, oatmeal, cereal. You can have like muesli bars, protein bars. There's slow digestible and fast digestible carbs. And then you are just following these small changes with your meal plans when you're constructing it. And then you also have a nighttime where you are, for example, having black curtains into your daily room, and you also associate that with only having sex and sleep. And then you are having earplugs, you are having mask to sleep, and you're 30 minutes before you go to sleep, you are trying to sleep, and you're also wanting to have something that's called a reflection of your day. So maybe you're journaling or you're just thinking about it. That's easier just for you to put all your thoughts down, so you're reflecting. These small habits is going to help you portray to a more confident version of yourself, and the more you are taking actions, the more you are getting more positive recognition that you're doing something great. And these changes are going to help you as well if you are having your workout, for example, on your phone. It's like planning out Monday to Friday. You're working out 5 times in a day in the gym, and also you want to have your meals prepared, so you have this taken with you at work, so you don't have any excuses. And also your gym bag is being packed the day before, so you don't have any excuse, won't drop it. I always put my gym bag like almost at the door, so I'm seeing that, and that's just easier. And these small changes, and also having 6,000 steps with downloading for example step app, it's easy for you to track your steps every single day. So all these small changes is going to help you being consistent, and you don't need to rely on motivation to lose the weight. The fourth life you've been telling yourself is that you need to completely change your life to get lean, and getting in shape means that you need to give up everything that you are enjoying. I imagine that you are at a point where you are just avoiding restaurants, vacations, social events, foods that you really been thinking that requires you to be fit to indulge, and only for you to quit because you just wanted to return to your old habits. And I want you to have a more flexible approach where 89% of the day you are eating foods that are whole foods, and that is meaning that you are hitting your macros and your calorie deficit, and the rest of the time 10-20% you are eating foods that you really enjoy. For example, if you have all the foods already in check, then you can throw in a protein cookie, maybe a chocolate chip cookie, because you have 100 or 200 calories left, because that's good. In the end of the day, you're not losing weight just over one day. It takes a long ass time for you. And also the most important thing is as well, you are being in a calorie deficit and sustaining that over a long period of time. And I found after 13 years is if I am eating foods that I really enjoy, it's easier to stick, because it's not like a weight loss plan, is more like a lifestyle change. And sometimes if I don't want to eat that cookie or protein cookie, I'm just eating a fucking Mars bar because, or Kit Kat, because it's just something that I want. And as always, you want to have all your meals being 30 grams of protein, 40 grams of carbs. And also, maybe let's imagine that you're already at a point where after 2 weeks you've been having your diet work for yourself, and you're working out in the gym 5 times a week. Then you want to also having the 6,000 steps. Then you want to introduce the cardio, because if you are losing 1 to 2 pounds every single week through these things I just mentioned, and you're going to want to accelerate your fat loss, you are introducing cardio as a supplementary tool to lose weight even faster. And then eventually, after the first 2 weeks, your metabolism is just decreasing. Then you want to introduce something that's called free meal. That is something that you are increasing your carbs with 700 calories from carbs mainly, because carbs is giving you that energy levels and also increasing your metabolism, so you'll lose weight even faster next couple of days. Maybe you're at the point where you've been eating a lot of food and you're just feeling it's like bland, but increasing your carbs with the 700 calories is just something that's also coming free meal or refeed. You are increasing your energy levels, you are sleeping better, you have a lot of energy more, you might be looking more lean next couple of days. And this is the way for you to build a lean muscular body that you feel confident in while still enjoying your life. I'd love to know what is your biggest takeaway from the video so far. Just comment below and let me know. And the last lie you've been telling yourself is that you are just at an age where you're not able to lose any more weight, and you're thinking that just because I'm older that my metabolism is broken. I imagine that you are 30, 40, 50 years old somewhere in the US or in Europe, and you are watching your body just changing, and you feel like the younger version of yourself is just completely gone, and you wonder if it's too late to transform yourself. I want you to take a stop and not shitting yourself, because if you are prioritizing strength training, for example, you are in the gym 4 or 5 times a week, you are actually prioritizing into your calendar, and you have the first 2 exercises being compound movement, basically because compound movement is targeting several muscle groups. You're working out your chest, then you're using military incline chest press in a Smith machine, because Smith machine is something that can help you put on a lot of weight, and you are wanting to target the upper part of the chest, but you're also going to target the triceps, and then you are having a lot of energy, so you are performing like a warm-up set, 10 to 12 reps. Just find some weight that you can accomplish, and make sure that you're studying the video and have a good mind muscle connection where you actually target the specific muscle group that you are working out. And then you are going 60 seconds. You have a watch looking at the time, because the more intensity you work out, the higher chance that you are breaking down the muscle tissues and rebuilding it through your diet. And then the first set, you have 3 sets in total. And the fourth set is just the warm-up set. But the first set, you are fighting a weight that you can handle. You have 1 to 2 reps before failure, and then you are going to push yourself, and then you are having 60 seconds of rest, and then you're trying to increase the weight even more. That's something they call progressive overload, where you're constantly trying to push yourself. Sometimes you're not able to push yourself to 10 reps, then you're just trying to use the same weight, and every week you are trying to challenge yourself. Some weeks that you're going to increase the weight, and that's a sign that you're getting more strong and also building more muscle. The more muscle mass you have, the faster you lose weight. And a higher protein intake of 45% is helping you build the muscle mass, and also helping you losing weight faster. And for example, after the 2 compound movements that you've been having, then you are going over to isolation movement. That could be like you are working out your chest with incline flies, for example, and you go over to tricep push downs with triceps, because you're already working your triceps with the first exercises, and then you're going over to tricep row push downs, bench dips, and then that's just a way of working out. And then you also have the shoulders the next day, and the triceps the next day. That's the 3rd day. That could be back and hamstrings. The 4th day is your quads and your abs, and the last day is just a weak body part. I can recommend like the shoulders and the chest, because that's just what I've been working out, because I had 2 big legs from playing soccer. And the daily movement you also want to track, that could be just you accomplishing the 6,000 steps. And recovery, that is just 2 days a week where you are not working out, but you are having active recovery. That can help you put out all the muscle tension out of your body. You have a yoga mat at home, you're stretching out. You find some videos how to stretch out completely, because the more flexible you are, the better range of motion that you have. And better range of motion is just helpful if you want to break down the whole muscle tissues, and through rest and recover, you're going to rebuild these muscle tissues. And having a sleep optimization with 8-9 hours of sleep, I already addressed that in one of the other lies that you've been telling yourself. But you are just going to make up of proving yourself that you can build a lean, strong, confident body no matter how old you are. And if you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you saw with me in my client transformation in the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you and I are fit to work together. And I'll just help you build a game plan to lose the weight for good. Bye.